The second stakes race on Saturday at Del Mar is the Grade 2 Yellow Ribbon Handicap. It's race number 10, a mile and 1/16 on grass for fillies and mares, and the deepest field of turf fillies and mares assembled this year in California. A field of 10 entered. 8 of them are graded or group winners. The other 2 are listed stakes winners who have placed in graded stakes. So this is a good, solid, deep field. Are they Breeders' Cup caliber? That's a discussion for another time, but I will say this. This is an evenly matched field with a number of potential winners. We're going to talk about the main contenders, but this is a race that certainly could have an upset in the field somewhere, and the odds should be good on whoever you like. I happen to pick the high weight, Maxim Rate, and we'll talk about her in just a second, but there's a lot of ways to go in this field and not a single throwout in the entire field. One of the stories of the meet, one of the handicapping stories of the meet, has been the anti-speed profile of the Del Mar turf course. There have been 30 grass route races going into the Thursday card. Only 2 of them were won by the pace setter, and more than half the 30 grass route races were won by horses that rallied from the back half of the field. And I bring it up right at the top because Charmaine's Mia might otherwise be a standout in this mile and 1/16 race, but she faces a challenging course profile at Del Mar that has been swallowing the front runners day after day, week after week. The first 3 weeks of the season, most every turf route at Del Mar, 28 of the 30 was won from off the pace. So if that profile continues, it's going to compromise Charmaine's Mia, but it certainly will not compromise the 124-pound high weight Maxim Rate. So there's a look at the field of 10. I'm not going to go through all 10 runners. We'd be here all day. Let's talk first about the horse that won this race a year ago. Her name is Bodacita, and she actually enters this race with the exact same pattern as last year. Last year, she finished second in the Gamely and came right back and won the Yellow Ribbon 2 months later. This year, she finished third in the Gamely and comes back on Saturday trying to become a repeat winner of the Yellow Ribbon Handicap. She's trained by Richie Baltas. Trevor McCarthy will be aboard. Let's take a look at the stretch run of last year's Yellow Ribbon Stakes. And this is Bodacita. Richie Baltas is one of these guys that you have to pay attention to in grass routes, well, anywhere. And this is Bodacita scoring a major win. Major because anytime a filly or American win a graded stakes race, it enhances their residual value as a broodmare. And Bodacita got the job done a year ago in this very same race. So we know she likes the turf course. We know that she's coming into this race with the exact same pattern as last year, and she will be rolling late. She's now 5 years old. Is she as good as she was a year ago? I don't know. I don't know that she's not either, but she will be rolling late, and she is definitely a contender. But the strength of the Yellow Ribbon is they're all coming out of the Gamely, the race in which Maxim Rate, Bodacita, and Charmaine's Mia finished 1, 3, 6. And in fact, Keeper of the Stars was also in the field, and she finished 4th. Let's go ahead and roll the tape of the stretch run of the Gamely. It was May 31st at Santa Anita, a mile and 1/8, and that's Maxim Rate with the circle 3 wide. That would be Bodacita toward the back, and poor Charmaine's Mia down on the inside, and Keeper of the Stars right to her outside. And I say poor Charmaine's Mia because they went 45 and change, 109 and change, and in deep stretch, Charmaine's Mia said, that's enough for me. Maxim Rate scores at 13-1. Bodacita along to finish 3rd, again running a race similar to how she ran in the Gamely last year prior to her Yellow Ribbon win. And Charmaine's Mia, she couldn't take the heat, and Keeper of the Stars actually ran better than Charmaine's Mia. And I probably should be giving Keeper of the Stars a lot more attention than I have because she's a contender as well in a race that is absolutely wide open. I picked Maxim Rate because I know she's in form. Her style suits the turf course, and there is speed in this field. Charmaine's Mia, Laura's Light, Keeper of the Stars, all those, Raymundo's Secret as well. 3 or 4 of the entrants in the Yellow Ribbon run on or near the front end. So the pace should be legitimate. And over a turf course that favored closers the first 3 weeks of the season, you would expect that the Yellow Ribbon to be won by a horse coming from out of it. But I respect Charmaine's Mia, and her dazzling form early this year at Santa Anita cannot be ignored after one subpar race, a race in which she was pressured through insane fractions. Let's take a look at the Buena Vista and Yellow Ribbon, won by Charmaine's Mia in February and April at Santa Anita. And there she is doing her thing on the front end. She sat second early this day, made the lead, and won very well. It was a stretch out win following a sprint victory. This is the Buena Vista. She won by a length over Mucho Unusual. And then a little bit more than a month later in the Royal Heroine, Charmaine's Mia would come right back and do the same thing. This time she made the lead, set the pace without sitting second. She was on the lead, and she raced gate to wire to win by a half length. She opened up by 2. She got a little bit late, and held off Dog Tag. Dog Tag is also in this field. By the way, Dog Tag ran very well in this race over a Santa Anita turf course that is a lot more speed conducive than Del Mar. So the question facing Charmaine's Mia, can she carry her speed a mile and 1/16 on a Del Mar turf course that is decidedly anti-speed, or will she get worn down by a Maxim rate? There's a lot of ways to go in the Yellow Ribbon Stakes. I wouldn't take a Yellow Ribbon Handicap. I wouldn't take a short price on anyone. Most probable winner, Maxim rate, rallying from the back of the pack, but you have to respect the speed and overall consistency of Charmaine's Mia. The Yellow Ribbon Stakes, I picked Maxim rate, race number 10, Saturday at Del Mar.